Hello and welcome to the Mintsoft mobile app demo video number 2. The first video, if you've seen it just now, was an introduction into the app, and this video is solely focused on order picking. There are quite a few order picking methods on Mintsoft, and I'm going to show you the 4 methods which are used by the majority. So I won't be covering any carton and pallet picking in this demonstration, as you need the carton and pallet app for that, which currently the majority of customers do not have. So let's go first to Mintsoft, and we are on our orders overview page. And to demonstrate the first mobile picking method, I'm going to make a batch of orders. And for anybody who's not seen that before, you can batch orders up if they're in a new status, and there's 2 ways to do that. So you can go tick, tick, tick on some orders, and then in the bulk actions here, you can create batch, which is just a manual way of putting orders together. And there is a more automated way to do that, where you can go to picking and packing, manage batches. In this page, you can view the batches that you've made previously. You can see how many orders went into them and so on. At the top of the page, you can create new batch. Now, I'm not going to focus too long on this for this demonstration, but on here, you can put different filters, such as different couriers of orders that you'd like to go into the batch. Perhaps you want just single line orders. Perhaps you want just multi-line orders. Perhaps you want to include particular tags or orders between a certain weight bracket. You can also put here the maximum batch size. So if you can only pick, let's say, 10 orders at a time, you could put maximum batch size of 10, and you'll get no more than 10 orders in the batch. I'm going to put 3 here, as I like to test in threes. I can also put a reference. Let's call this mobile demo. Let's call it bulk, and I'll show you a bulk picking method. You can also save this batch as a template to run again in the future. And save batches will appear up here, and you can just load that template, and it saves you having to put all these filters in place. So I'll click on create batch now. There's quite a few features you can do here. Most of them are used if you do not have the mobile app, so you can print different picking lists and things, but as this is a mobile app demo, we will jump straight to the mobile tab, and we will select a picking method that we'll be following. So first I'm going to show you bulk paperless. Now there's a bulk and a bulk paperless option. To do the bulk option, you do need to print in advance a batch picking summary document. On this document, it tells you how many orders you're picking in total, and it tells you which items to get and the quantity. And there's a barcode at the top that will identify the batch. And this piece of paper will need to live with the batch until it's marked as dispatched at the very end. Whereas if you do the bulk paperless option, when you're doing your picking, you can simply scan a tote or scan a trolley or a pallet that you're picking onto, and that tote or trolley or pallet, that then identifies the batch later on in its journey. Okay, so I recommend bulk paperless. The option is yours. If you do need tote barcodes, you can make them yourself as well by going to Warehouse Extras on Mintsoft. We have a tote label generator. You can put in anything you like here. Click generate, and Mintsoft will produce barcodes for you. Okay, so again, bulk paperless, I'm going to click assign. I'm then going to go to my mobile app, and in case you didn't just come from the first demonstration video, I have product barcodes along the bottom of the screen to demonstrate with here, and I have location barcodes at the top. So on the mobile app, you have order picking and you have batch picking. Order picking is for picking methods where you pick one order at a time. Even if it's a batch of 10, you still pick them one order at a time. And batch picking is for bulk picking and tote picking. So let's go to batch picking. And here we have a bulk paperless pick. There's 3 orders in it, 6 items to pick in total. Let's go. I'm going to click onto there. And the first thing I need to do is scan a tote. So I have provided some tote barcodes in advance, just one moment. And here they are. So to demonstrate that anything can be a tote, as far as Mintsoft is concerned for picking, I have tote 1, tote 2, tote 3. I also have pallet 1, 2, 3, and I have trolley 1, 2, 3. These don't need to be set up in Mintsoft in advance. Any barcode you scan can become a tote. So I'm going to scan tote 1. And Mintsoft is taking me to a particular location to scan 3 kettlebells. So I'll go there now and I'll scan 1. scan 2, scan 3, and now it's taking me to another location to scan 6 yoga mats. So I can scan 1, 2, and I could also click on the plus here, or I could click into the box and I could type in 6 to manually verify. And just like that, I've picked 3 orders worth of products into a single tote. To complete the packing for this, I then take that tote back to Mintsoft on a PC. I would then go to picking and packing on the main menu. I would go to batch pick and pack because I have a batch of orders in a single tote. And then I could select on here tote barcode, and using a USB scanner, I could scan tote 1 and begin packing those orders. Now, when you go onto this page, the default selection will be this one. So if it is a tote that you're scanning, you can change in your user settings the default to land on tote barcode on this page to save you a click every time. So I'm going to scan tote 1. Now Mintsoft knows which batch I'm dealing with based on the tote, and it's asking me to scan a product. I could then scan a yoga mat. Mintsoft knows which order we're dealing with. It asks me to verify some extra items for that order, so I can scan another yoga mat. And I could scan a kettlebell. I get a pop-up of any packaging instructions. I can dismiss this. And then this is the page which you're hopefully familiar with already on Mintsoft, where you can choose your courier service, you can change number of parcels, you can update the weight of the order, and once you've got everything ready, you can click on Create Shipment, which will generate a shipping label for you. You can then click on Print Label, and then you can click here to dispatch the order. Now, there are some user settings that can automate this, and I'll make a separate video for them, and I'll create that as a part 3. So I can click Dispatch on my order. Mintsoft still knows which batch we're dealing with, so I'll just bring these barcodes up again. I could then scan another product, such as a yoga mat. And to verify this order, I need another yoga mat, and I need another kettlebell. So all 3 orders in this batch are identical. And then I can get my label, go through the motions, click Dispatch. I still have a few items left in my tote, so I scan another kettlebell. I scan a yoga mat. I scan 1 more yoga mat. I print my label, go through the motions, click Dispatch. And I get a message now that says bulk picking complete. So that means all the orders in that tote have been dispatched now. And if I still have items in that tote, I've made a mistake and I might need to work backwards to see what went wrong. Okay. So that's bulk paperless. I'm now going to show you multi-tote picking. Now, just to completely over-explain this, let me show you a tote trolley here. So in this example, on this trolley, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 totes by 6. So in theory, I could pick 36 orders onto this trolley in a single walk, and this would be a multi-tote pick on Mintsoft. I'm going to go to my orders overview page. I have 1 new order here that could go into the batch, so I'm going to very quickly copy some orders just for demonstration purposes. So there's 1, copy, there's another one. So now I have 3 orders in a new status. If we go to the left hand side, I can show you quickly. This is 1 kettlebell and 2 yoga mats per order, the same as the last ones. I'll highlight all my orders, create batch, and this time I'll call it mobile demo tote. Okay, so I have 3 orders in this batch. I'm going to go to the mobile tab, much quicker this time. I'm going to select multi-tote, which, by the way, in my user settings, I've defaulted multi-tote to be put here automatically. If it's coming up as standard and you have a preference, you can change it in your user settings too. The orders have gone to the mobile. I can now go back to Mintsoft. I can go to batch picking again. And this time we have 3 orders to pick, 6 items in them in total, but this is a multi-tote pick. So I need to make sure that when I go out into the warehouse, I have a trolley that's got at least 3 totes for my 3 orders on. I click onto the order. I have to go and scan a kettlebell as my first item. And then Mintsoft is asking me to scan a tote. So I'm going to scan tote 1, which is now available because I finished with it from the previous batch. Now I need to go to a location and scan 2 yoga mats. And this time Mintsoft is telling me to put it in tote 1 because it's building up an order for me. And while I'm in this location, I can scan 2 more yoga mats. So 1, 2. And Mintsoft is asking me to put them into another tote. So in this occasion, I'm going to put them into tote 2. And now I need to scan a kettlebell and put it into tote 2 by scanning. And while I'm in this location, I can scan another kettlebell. I can put it into tote 3. And then I can go to another location and pick 2 yoga mats. 1, 2. And I can scan tote 3 to put them all away in there. Now my test database that I'm doing this demonstration on, my stock is a bit of a mess because it's not a real warehouse. What would happen for you watching this is that if you had to pick 3 orders and each order had a kettlebell, you would pick all those kettlebells while standing in the same place. So multi-tote picking does save you some walking because you can pick the orders as you go through with minimal jumps between locations. Okay. To complete this packing, we need to take the totes to a PC. So once again, I'll bring Mintsoft up just to the side of my barcodes. And this time, because the orders are separated into totes individually, we can go to picking and packing, and this time it's order pick and pack to process 1 order at a time. I've got the default here to be selected on tote barcode, so I don't need to click anything. I can simply scan my tote and then verify the items. Now this is still coming up for me because I have barcode verification set up on my Mintsoft. To set this up, you go to Picking and Packing, Overview. I'll show you very quickly. There's a Manage Barcode Verifications Rules page here where you can set up so that you have to scan each product as you're packing it. If you don't set a rule up, Mintsoft will simply take you to this packing screen again that we're already familiar with, where you can get your label, click Dispatch, and then move on to the next order. So I could then scan tote number 2, verify my items if I need to, or I'll just override once again just to get it through quickly and dispatch the order. I can scan tote 3 just to go through the motions. I could verify the items. I could get my shipping label, click dispatch, and that's 3 orders complete. Next, I'm going to show you standard tote picking. So I'm going to quickly create some new orders, but I'm going to pause the recording so you don't need to watch that. Welcome back. I've made a batch of 2 orders, and this time I'm going to select standard pick. Standard is short for standard tote pick. So in the same way that we picked orders into a tote for multi-tote, this is where we are picking a single order per tote. This is useful if you have larger items and you can only pick 1 order at a time. If I click Assign, I can then go back to my app, click on Order Picking, and the orders are listed out 1 order at a time. I could then click on an order, and the first thing I'm asked to do is scan a tote. So I could scan tote 1. I need to go to a location and pick a kettlebell, so I'll scan that now. Then I need to pick a yoga mat, I'll scan that, and again. And that's done. I could then go and do the packing for this tote by going to Mintsoft and going to Picking and Packing, Order Pick and Pack once more. Or I could leave that tote for someone else to pack and I could go and pick the next order. Next, I'm going to show you flexi picking. So once again, I've quickly made a batch, this time for a single order. However, you could put as many orders you like into the batch and send them all for flexi picking. Now, flexi picking is where you pick 1 order at a time, and it allows you to generate the shipping label from within the app, so you don't need to go back to the PC to do the packing of that. So if I click Assign and go back to the app, to Order Picking, now we have a flexi pick. So you can see here, standard pick, FlexiPick. If we go on to FlexiPick, we don't need to scan a tote whatsoever because it's assumed that we will do the packing and the dispatching straight after the picking. So I could scan an item such as a yoga mat and then scan another one. Just ignore that error there as I mis-scanned my screen. Then I can scan my next item, which is a kettlebell. And now the app has taken us to this screen where we can change on the mobile how many parcels are required. We can then also press a button to generate a courier label and print it all in one. We can also generate and print the picking list in case we want to include that in the final packed order. Then we have buttons to dispatch the order, mark it as picked or mark it as packed. If the end result is that you've finished with the order, simply mark it as dispatched. If you marked it as picked or packed, you can come back to it later on the PC or on the app. If you click Print Courier Label, you should also have set up on Mintsoft in advance the print tool. If you've not seen it before, head to Mintsoft, head to the settings, and you can download Print Tool. I'll show it to you now. This is the print tool, and if you leave this open and running on a PC, Mintsoft will then send a label from the scanner to the print tool, which based on the size of the label or document, will send it to different printers. Many courier labels are 4 by 6 inches. They will simply go to the selection here that says 4 by 8, but they will print the correct size. It's worth noting as well that in a future release on the app, we'll also have functionality to support Wi-Fi printers and Bluetooth printers so that you don't need the print tool running on a PC. For now, it is one print tool per PC per user. Thank you for watching this demonstration, and I hope it helps.